welcome to today's episode of Talk and Roll with Hawk and the Captain. Today we have some metalheads from young metalheads from the band Something Wicked. Tell us about yourselves, guys.
My name's Chase. This is Jayden, my drummer. To be honest, you'd have to start at the beginning. The only reason this band exists is because you got bored during lockdown, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We have known each other for, almost our whole lives now. We went to elementary school together and everything else.
We discovered our late high school years that we both really love metal, and I kind of got invited to play with him, and we played and jammed, and it kind of took off from there. And ever since, we've just fell into this huge hole for music and absolutely love it.
Cool. Good. So when you guys got together, were you already playing before, or before the pandemic, or did you guys really start getting into it during the pandemic?
When did you guys pick up instruments? That's what I'm curious about.
Oh Lord, okay, so I've been in the music world since like 6th grade because I did concert band, marching band, all that stuff. But I didn't pick up drum set really until like 3 years ago. And the band's only been together for 2 years. So when I bought my kit, I kind of just worked by myself, playing covers and just working all the time just to get to where I am now.
I was going to say, ironically, the whole reason I even wanted to play guitar was because of the Rock Band games and all the Guitar Hero games. I'd stay up until like 2 o'clock in the morning playing them, and eventually I just kept bugging my mom. I was like, I want a guitar, I want a guitar, I want a guitar. Finally, they get me my very first guitar. I think it was Christmas of 2017, and I was 14 at the time, and I just went in my room with my laptop and my guitar and just taught myself how to play, and I've been playing ever since.
Fuck yeah, dude. Back in high school, Guitar Hero was huge. Like, huge. It was the biggest fucking game on the planet. And then our little creep metalheads, I was never into this. This is also one of the reasons that I'm like super against gatekeeping. But people used to, like, these fucking insecure little shits used to give you shit if you like discovered a band through Guitar Hero. Yeah. And that was how you knew 100%. Of whoever, like, they would give you shit for it. So yeah, you can fucking sit down with all that stuff. But that's awesome. That's awesome. That sounds a lot like what I did before a woman ruined my life. So good job, boys.
Been there.
Yeah. I did it the weird way because I'm old, so I picked up the bass and would watch videotapes of Anthrax, of Frankie playing, and watching it frame by frame almost, and watching them play. And
I wish that's how I would have learned. I wish that's how I would have taught myself, was by ear. I would have preferred to learn by ear, but I've had the internet the whole time, so I got spoiled by tabs.
I learned every single like drum cover, and still to this day, the way I learn drum covers is listening.
Listening. Yeah, perfect. I'm not do that. That's perfect. That's a much better way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned, though. I've been like that ever since I picked up an instrument.
I was gonna say one of the reasons that I like him so much as my drummer is that we both absolutely love Metallica. He actually got me into Metallica more so than I already was when we started hanging out and stuff. And when we used to rehearse out in the country at my bass player's house, and they had a big barn set up. And I remember one time, it was like 11 o'clock at night. He sat down with a pair of headphones and his old drum kit, not the new one that he has now that's super nice, his old one that he had started on, and played And Justice for All from the beginning opening track to the end, just by ear, and killed it.
That's awesome.
Nice. Now,
Good, good,
Now,
bro.
is that how you picked up everything? You just put them on, listen.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, when I first like picked, I also play bass as well. So like, interestingly enough, I cannot learn at all like listening when it comes to like bass and guitar. I actually have to look at tabs. But
Yeah.
drums is like the only way I can learn is listening.
It's organic. It just comes
just-
naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel the rhythm so naturally. So
The reason I wish I would have learned how to play by ear is because I think in finger placement and not in notes. Like when I was real young, I used to play the violin, and I had to like when I was like 7, 8 years old, and I had to stop because my dad couldn't afford to rent the violin anymore. But back then, I
Right.
remember like I learned how to read music and I could pick it up. But then between 8 and 14, when I started playing guitar, I lost all that. And then so now I think in like where my fingers are supposed to go and not in notes like I should.
Yep.
yeah.
I agree with that. That's definitely something. And I think that's a thing that a lot of self-taught players kind of run into. Is because I don't know jack about theory. I know, oh, if I play these frets, it's gonna make this noise, this type of sound. But I don't know anything about theory. So then when I'm writing, I kind of feel stuck, I guess. The word I would use.
It is a good look, if you've got the time, you should work on like at least basic theory and scales, like scale shapes. There's more than the pentatonic, like think like that.
I'm always telling them to.
I was gonna say I kind of feel called out by that one.
That's
Yeah.
no, that's I knew it because I was that. So that's how I spotted that. No, because I was the same way.
Nothing
Everything
wrong
I
with
played, sounded like Kirk Hammett or Tony Iommi or Angus Young. That was it.
the straight chromatic runs in the solo that I did for Arachnid when we recorded that.
Yeah.
See, I cheated. I learned the drums. I learned one song. I learned how to play Inagata Devita, the drum solo from Inagata Devita. And I learned how to play it on my friend's brother's drum kit. And I'm sitting there playing. And they're like, that's great. Can you play anything else? I was like, nah, that's the only thing I ever learned how to play.
Yeah.
That's how I am on guitar. I like know how to play like 3 System of a Down songs, and then that's it.
Yeah, those are usually the starters. Yeah.
See, you guys are young, man. I was like, I'm getting to the point now where I can't even play bass anymore. I've got nerve damage. So these 2 fingers right here, I got no feeling in. So it's like, and then I got to meet Frank Bello a while back, and I was sitting there. I told him, he's like, "You still play bass?" I was like, "I can't." He's like, "Why?" Because I can't feel these fingers. And he's like, that's a good reason why. Because you can play you can play bass with 2 fingers. I was like, "Yeah, but not very well." And he goes, "That's true too." So
true. Yeah. You know what though? I've people all the time. There have been so many times at shows where I've been playing and I'll cut open a finger or something playing live, and people are like, "Oh my god, how do you keep playing?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, the guitar player for Black Sabbath is missing 2 fingertips.
Yep.
I don't think a little cut's gonna be the end of the world.
I remember every time I would hurt my hands because I worked physical labor and I have my whole life, and in kitchens, especially in kitchens, when I burn myself or cut myself doing prep.
Yep.
The first thing I would do would be to inspect where on my finger I was cut and whether or not a string was going to fall into it.
Yep,
So-
I work at Burger King right
Yep.
now.
Dude,
and
you are
I
like
do that all the time.
this kid is literally me. This kid is me. Fucking 15 years ago. That's awesome.
So
Oh man.
I got to ask you guys a big question here. Was Something Wicked your first, like the first band, or have you guys been in other bands, or was there another name before Something Wicked?
Like bands, not like you and your buddy.
So at first, I guess he had a band going, but they didn't really play.
You could not call it a band. It was
just
2 guys messing around on some instruments in the back of a tattoo
But
shop.
At the time, they were known as the band called This Grave We Call Home, and then I came along, and I was better on the drums, so I took over. and I suggested the name change, and then he came up with the name Something Wicked, and ever since it changed to Something Wicked, it's kind of been our baby.
That's good.
And,
That is much better.
I haven't done
Yeah.
anything.
I'm not a fan of those. Like,
yeah,
I'm not a fan of
100%.
those fucking phrase names. As I lay dying, I'm not into that shit.
either.
I
That's
can't.
why I
I can't.
I-
Like my band in high school was one word. That was like the criteria. It needs to be one word, and it has to
Right.
have metal in it.
That's what I said. I literally was
Literally.
like, you need to shorten the name, make it either one syllable or two syllables, and
It's like
it has
four.
to be cool.
It's 4
Perfect.
syllables.
Is it 4?
Something
Oh
wicked.
yeah, it's 4.
That's
Yeah.
fine. No, you're good. You're
Yeah,
good.
you're allowed 2. You're allowed 2
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 2
yeah.
words. It works.
2 words.
That I always love hearing the like talking with all these other bands and shit I've talked to over the years, finding out their first original bands, and it's always something horrible. It's always something dumb that they thought was
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool back in
What
high
the
school.
fuck? What the fuck was mine?
Mine was
What was
No
the?
Fate was
I'd
our
have to
first
text
band.
my buddy.
Was my first band, and then the second band was Wormhole.
Violent Ritual. That
Violent
was
Ritual.
it. That's so funny. I didn't name that, and I went into that band. I went into that band. This is where I met my best friend, Josh. Like later, we started a band together. But I met him, and we went into this band. Doc, can you shut the fuck up, please? We went into this. I went into this band as like a second guitar player, and the kid who was the lead guitarist was trash at it. And they had like one song that they had written, and I learned the song from the kid, and I started like suggesting ways to make the song better because I'm a riff god, okay? And
Understandably.
he was not having it. He was not having it. We were not in that
I
band very
will
long.
say, this is the only band that I've ever been in. Because like I don't really count this grave we call home, just for the simple fact that, you know, it was 2 dudes just kind of goofing off, playing dumbass pop punk covers and stuff because he couldn't play anything else. But you know, I mean, Lord, what we got started, we became active, like playing shows New Year's Day of 21.
Yeah, New Year's Day of 21 was our first official show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So what band maybe you're different now because you said you guys have been together for 2 years. I'm gonna sell you to somebody. Yeah,
The dog's gonna get
$5. So what band, when you guys started, what big band were you trying to be?
Oh, me? I was 100% trying to be Lars Ulrich. I am
Metallica.
Metallica, 100%.
That's the good starter.
Yeah.
We wrote a song. We wrote a song called Bloodstains and Bible Verses that we put on a demo that we released. And literally, it's a Metallica song. Like, there's no other way of putting it. I straight borrowed a riff from Master of Puppets. Like, this is mine now.
I'm pretty sure I still write Metallica songs.
The chorus of it is such a. It literally sounds like, I think, like one of the verses in Disposable Heroes or something.
Yeah, it's that part in Disposable Heroes.
Yeah, but I didn't know of Disposable Heroes when I came up with the riff, and so I kind of like rewrote it on accident.
That was funny when we found that out.
Yeah,
That's how everything works. So
Yeah.
everybody's like freaking out about AI taking all this stuff and then making original things out of it without like contemplating that that's exactly what we do as human beings. We
Yeah.
take all of this shit in and then we spit out combinations of it. Like that's how it works.
Well, and especially like nowadays with, you know, I mean, metal music's been around for so long. It's kind of hard not to come up with something that
It
isn't.
sounds a lot like something
Yep.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
our main focus has been trying to come up with a sound that doesn't sound like anything else. I mean, like we at one point didn't know what our sound was because we were taking so many different subgenres of metal and throwing them together to create a new sound.
it's
That's what
weird.
you got to do. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the
You-
process.
You take what you
I
learn.
mean, like
and you manipulate it and move it to make it your own.
You steal it. You
Yeah.
steal until it stops.
Yeah, until it's completely different.
Stop
Everybody's
sounding
got to
like
stand on
stealing.
the shoulders of somebody else.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
That's a good way of looking at
that's a great way of looking at it.
it. Yeah.
because
I
mean,
think though. Go ahead.
seriously, Metallica wouldn't be Metallica if it wasn't for the
Diamond Head.
Diamond Head, Motorhead. If it wasn't for them bands, there would be no
I
Metallica.
love Diamond
So,
Head,
yeah.
bro. If you kids aren't into Diamond Head, you need to be. I'm trying to bring them. I'm trying to bring them back. I'm trying to like make Diamond Head more famous as I get more famous. That's my goal. Every
Ain't
3
nothing
months,
wrong
I
with that.
talk
I
about
love me
Lightning
some
Dimensions.
Diamond Head. You ain't gonna hear me complain.
There we go. It's nice. It's nice seeing young. I was back. I'm like I said, I'm the old man. It's nice seeing guys your age getting into old metal.
I love it. We love it.
Oh yeah.
It's like my whole personality. So
See,
Well, I mean, I grew up with it. I mean,
I can relate to that.
I always tell people, I was like, when all the other little kids were getting dropped off at elementary school in the morning and their moms were playing like the top 40 on the radio or whatever, my parents were dropping me off playing, Pantera, Metallica.
Is that where you got it? You got it from
all
your
that sort of
parents?
shit.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. I don't have kids and I'll never have kids, but I was always one of my biggest fears of being a father or a parent was like wanting my kid to like metal so much that they would hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a relatable fear. 100%.
I was worried about it, but now I'm just not ever going to procreate. So problem solved.
yeah, you say that now until one sneaks out of you.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried
Well,
about
there
any
you go.
accidents.
I got 4 kids, and all my kids like metal. So
Hey, there you go.
that's cool.
I didn't push it on them or nothing, man. They just sort of fell into it and started loving it. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me on the last show, what the fuck was it? That your kid was like, just came up and said, I want to listen to, what was it? What band was it?
The Ramones.
The Ramones.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Vince
Speaking of
goes up. My youngest, he's 13, has autism, and he's all of a sudden he comes up and he's like, I want to hear the Ramones. And I'm like, yes, you do. We're gonna get the
You
Ramones.
do.
Yeah, absolutely you do.
Hell yeah. So he's like that. Now he's he's always on a Clutch kick. So that kid loves Clutch. And
Oh yeah, I like
he,
Clutch.
he loves AC/DC right now. So I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, cool kid.
I've been like,
I had a
AC/DC is my.
similar-
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go nuts. So
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a similar situation with not a child, but my little cousin. He came over to my house once, not too long after I had moved back to Ohio, and I was listening to music, and I was listening to Five Finger Death Punch, The Bleeding. I was playing it on my porch on my guitar, and he was probably 8, 9 years old, somewhere in that range, just full blown headbanging, giving it everything he had on front porch, middle of the day, everything he had. And from then on, I was like, do you like this music? And he was like, yeah, I thought it was cool. So I started sending him all these bands and all this music and stuff. And now he's, a teenager, and he's got to be that guy. So he's sending me bands and stuff like, oh, you ever heard of them? You ever heard of them? Bet you haven't. And I'm like, I showed you this music. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's kind of fun being able to introduce people to new music, even if it's old music. I hook people up all the time, especially people come in the shop. They're like, "What are you listening to today?" I'm like, "That is Bolt Thrower," or that is. I'm like,
to do that at work. I'll just take over the speaker and just start playing whatever, and people will be like, "I have not recognized a single song," and I'm like, "That's because you don't have taste."
That's
you just fucking just franchise Burger King in Ohio, just Exodus in the lobby.
That would be all. I think I've done that. I was playing Throwing Down at work the other night. That's funny.
So I know you guys are in Ohio. Where are you guys at in Ohio?
We're in Wilmington, Ohio. It's like an hour away from Cincinnati and like an hour away from Columbus. So it's like right in the middle to the big.
Because I'm in Piqua, so I'm
okay,
almost just an hour north of Cincinnati, a little over an hour. So
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But man, it's I don't know, man. Listening to metal at work is so much fun because it's it's fucking with so many people.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
you
one
can
of the
turn
best
some
parts
heads.
of the
The first time you play like Corpse Without Soul or Nuns Have No Fun for somebody who's never heard it before, like King Diamond, like I was trying to explain to my girlfriend, like King Diamond is an acquired taste, and she didn't quite understand. I was like, I can't explain it to you. I have to show you. So we play Corpse Without Soul, and then the second he starts wailing, she's like, "What the fuck is that?" Like,
Yep,
like,
there it is.
yeah. See, it's different. It's weird.
Well, that's like I'm when I'm at work to make the time pass, I listen to full albums just for the simple fact of like, oh, about an hour went by, I've listened to this album. And because I'm the singer, and I'm really busy, I really don't have a lot of time out of my day to just like stop and like designate vocal practice time. So I'll be at work in the kitchen just doing full-blown gutturals and fry screams like it's nothing. My boss actually yelled at me one day for doing it because customers were complaining. I was dying.
Are you guys slaughtering pigs back there? Yeah, that's awesome.
100%. 100%.
I'm like, I didn't know you killed animals on site for their food.
Fresh
Yeah,
meat,
absolutely.
bro. Just shove the cow right into the slot machine that spits out the whoppers.
Yeah, right?
Processed burgers. So
oh man.
So, I always ask this though. First band you ever got into?
Ever in your whole
Ever.
life.
Yes.
The Beatles.
Oh God.
Even if it's something you're embarrassed by now.
Yeah, like Hanson.
Oh,
I bet it's Hanson.
Mine was Metallica. My mom, I did not grow up around metal music at all. It wasn't like my parents hated it. It was just like they didn't listen to it. So I acquired the taste like 3 years ago. And my mom showed me one. We were in the car because she heard me listening to Fade to Black in my room. And she was like, "Oh, I heard you listening to Metallica. This is what I used to listen to." And she played one in the car. And right when we got to the parts, I was like, I need to buy a drum set. I need to learn that part. And Metallica was 100% the first band I ever got into.
Metallica is the greatest band of all time. Metallica is. Dave
are.
Mustaine did an interview. Well, people keep asking him about Metallica, and he keeps talking about him.
Yeah,
it's so sad. Oh my god!
But
But like,
I left him alone.
Oh my god!
He said if I had stayed in Metallica, they would be as big as the Beatles. And I'm like, hey, dumbass. Metallica is as big as the Beatles.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
if
what?
Dave Mustaine had stayed in Metallica, they would have imploded before Master of Puppets came out. Like, there's no shot.
Yeah,
no,
there's
no way that band would have lasted. Not in that condition. No,
not at all.
Somebody would have murdered somebody.
What
Would
was
have
the
been like
first
way ahead on the other curve on the mayhem situation.
I got kind of an in, and it gets back to me because I'm friends with a guy who's worked with other members of Megadeth, and he's like, yeah, they're like, Dave's a miserable bastard,
right?
Yeah,
okay, he seems like it.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's
a talented miserable bastard. But he's
he's great.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's so. I don't know why he would be so miserable. He did it. You did it. Good job.
Yeah, right.
You made it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they kicked you out and then nobody ever heard of you ever again. Like, what is the issue?
Yeah,
for real. Like, you're gonna have one of the most recognizable names in metal.
He's still known as one of the greatest thrash metal guitarists of all time. I mean, like, what does he want?
Metallica.
Yeah,
he's easily the most talented of the big four leads for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's probably the most. Well, he's what? I remember this being the rumor when I was a kid. It was technically he's a musical genius.
Yeah,
and I was like, I believe that. Yeah.
So the trade-off is he's a fucking
his writing is like, genius writing.
Yeah,
I still can't play Megadeth songs.
he's
Dude,
also
well,
the
I'm not either, dude. I can't like Holy Wars bangs, bro. But the second he starts singing, I'm out. I can't do
I'm
it.
out. I'm done. Yeah.
That's it.
Although
It's
I'm not gonna
like,
lie, I read
can't
an
do it.
interview with him the other day when he even admitted that the weakest part of Megadeth is his vocals.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
dude. The
100%.
only album that I can stand is Peace Sells. I don't know what it is about how he did that one, but like
Peace Cells is
it's
damn near
better.
perfect though.
It's yeah.
Euthanasia was mine with his voice. I couldn't stand it until Euthanasia. So
I don't listen to enough Megadeth to have an opinion.
Yeah, I'm not. People think I'm into more than I'm into.
Yeah.
Like I like knowing stuff, but I listen to like the same 7 bands in rotation.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I'm guilty of that so bad. So bad.
I got away from that. And it was because the guys I worked with at a video store, and they turned me on to music because I'm an old school metal guy, mostly thrash and death metal, and fucking doom
Like
and
Sheldon
shit.
or death metal.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, man, he's like, "You need to listen to this," and it was, I think, Children of Bodom for the first time. And I'm like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
what
dude.
is this?"
I like, yeah.
then
that's-
Opeth and stuff, and I'm like, "The fuck am I missing out on?" And then next thing you know, I'm like, "All right, so this is a thing now." So
Dude,
I
Yeah.
I miss the high of being like into a new band. The last time during lockdown, well, I didn't really have a lockdown. I didn't stop working. Actually, I was working 80-hour weeks during lockdown while the rest of my company had to go home. It was awful. And yeah, and I got into Power Trip, and that was like that was probably the last. I don't know. I got deeper into the Offspring's catalog too. Like they're fucking Dexter Holland's so he's like a melodic genius. His vocal melodies are the best, dude.
I do love me some Offspring.
Yeah.
I would
Love
honestly have to say that the last band that I was really like geeking out over and like super into was probably Ice Nine Kills.
People ask me about them. I don't know. I couldn't name a single song.
Oh, I'm a huge Ice Nine Kills fan.
How do you feel about Avenged Sevenfold?
Okay, so I like Avenged Sevenfold. Don't get me wrong.
It was nice having you guys on.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Go.
That's it. Goodbye. Roll
But-
credits.
Yeah, right. Avenged Sevenfold is good, but I feel like as their catalog went on after they lost the Rev, they lost a lot of momentum, I guess is how I would put it, because they went away from the real, I guess the metalcore sound is how I would describe it. And, they really just kind of traded in for those basic 4/4 chunky Metallica-esque riffs. And, like, don't get me wrong, I love that shit. But at the exact same time, if I wanted to listen to Metallica, I'd listen to Metallica.
They did a god-awful cover of Last Caress. It was fucking terrible.
I didn't like their cover of Walk either. I was not a fan.
I didn't even know they covered Walk.
I didn't even know that either.
I won't
Oh
listen
yeah,
to
they
that.
did a cover of Walk. I
didn't know
was
that.
not a fan.
That sounds terrible.
It's still. I think the worst cover is got to be metal cover to, I guess, punk cover would be for me, Five Fingers version of the Offspring. I think this is god awful horrible.
Wait,
And-
what is
Yeah,
it?
Gone Away.
Yeah, Gone Away. Yeah, Five Fingers.
Yeah,
Gone
I
Away.
haven't heard it yet.
Oh, dude.
I
they
don't.
did, like,
Five Finger Death Punch, like, they kind of suck, and they shouldn't suck because each individual piece of Five Finger Death Punch is awesome. Ivan Moody's voice is so cool. I love it.
love
I
Ivan.
think
He's
I
an
think the Way of the
amazing-
Fist. I think the Way of the Fist is a great fucking metal album.
That is
but
a
then, like,
big ass metal album.
I
Yeah.
found myself like not like everything else. I was like forcing myself to try out. They did a really cool cover. Mama Said Knock You Out though. That was
Yeah,
banging.
it's-
Yeah,
My
with
pro-
Tech Nine, that was a really good one.
I think Five Finger Death Punch's problem is they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
I think as a
I
larger,
agree with that.
yeah, they're
Yeah, but no, see, they leaned into the cop rock thing, but like soldier rock is what they are. And I'm all about, get in the bag, bro. Go ahead. You know, like get you do you, but
Well, and I also feel that Death Punch gets a bad rap because I don't feel that any band like picks their fan base.
mm-mm.
I feel like Death Punch just kind of got stuck with a fan base that nobody really wanted. Like, the stereotypical lifted truck,
Get like
guy-
fucking tap out t-shirts
Yeah, tap out
and
monster,
and
man.
those stupid
Yeah.
those stupid
What
sunglasses.
did you used to call Death Punch?
No, I can't say that.
We call him 5-finger fruit punch, but
5-finger fruit punch. That's good.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
one similar.
but
So what's your 5-year plan, boys?
Oh man, 5 years.
I hope
Where do you
mine
want to be
is.
and how are you gonna get there?
I want something wicked to be something in 5 years. Either I mean like something.
See, my goal back in high school before everything kind of got derailed for me was to just be like doing tours in a van across wherever, like Florida or Georgia and Alabama, like because that's where I was. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. I made some poor
Yeah,
choices.
no, I get that 100%. Lord, 5 years. I would have to say, for 5 years, I want to see something wicked opening for acts that people genuinely enjoy.
It doesn't have to be Metallica or those huge bands, but at least bands that people know of. You know?
Yeah,
I want to be a little bit known.
We've been through so much bullshit with this band just in the short time that we've been active. We've been through multiple lineup changes, just horrible toxic bandmates that make being in the band miserable and everything else, and
we're just now really finding that solid sound that we love and enjoy playing all together.
Yeah.
And I think we've really found our recipe finally, and I think that we have some potential if we can get the right exposure and all that.
Well, really, just because we're kind of with what we were doing originally, we were really leaning into that thrash metal sound, and really, in all honesty, we were a Metallica ripoff, but now the music's just flowing a lot more organically, and like I myself personally, I'm a juggalo. I love ICP and Twisted and all that shit. And we've been incorporating a lot of hip hop elements into our shit and into our stuff. Yeah, a lot of new metal influence.
Very more. It's now sounding a lot more new metal, a little bit of hip hop in there. So it's like we're trying to make it appeal to people our age now, because we realize we can't play thrash, we'll write thrash stuff because I guess people our age aren't into it anymore. So we have to
Riley Gale. Yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think there's a renaissance coming, and I think it is going to heavy metal and rock and roll they're gonna start rolling the clock back a little, and we gotta restart and remind motherfuckers who the king is.
I 100%
I
agree with that.
I can feel it. Like there's been rumors new metal slowly starting to take back over.
Well, they had Sick New World out in Las Vegas, that giant new metal festival.
Yes.
And it was sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new metal kids, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and I was bringing it up to him. I feel like with the sound that we're doing, with incorporating the ICP and the Twisted influence on my end, because the song that we sent you guys, Revenge, we actually sent that in to Magic Ninja Entertainment, Twisted's record label, and they got back to us and were like, hey, when this is completely finished and mastered and everything, send this to us. Yeah. And I feel like that combination of that horrorcore rap and that new metal heavy, sound, it meshes well together, because in all the years that I've been listening to Juggalo music, yeah, you're gonna find them listening to ICP, Twisted, ABK, Boondocks, all these artists. But what bleeds over a lot is rock and metal music, and I feel that we're kind of breaking into a demographic that really just hasn't been touched before.
I hate to do this. Post, like, I guess, talk about one of my other episodes on this one. Watch my last episode that I just dropped Monday. Good friend of mine worked with Twisted, and he did some work, and he'll tell you some stories in that one.
That's badass.
Yeah, and
So that song you guys sent us, are you cool with that? Is that public? Is that something the public has already heard?
Not yet. With soon. I mean, like, we be more than welcome to post it, or whatever.
Are you cool with that? Because I figured we could put it
We're
show
gonna-
in post at
yeah,
the
we can
end.
put it.
For
We can put it in the
everybody to
show.
listen to.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Because we were gonna like give you permission because we thought that's what you were gonna do. So we were gonna kind of use the show and like tag you guys like in a post to kind of debut that song and be like, heads up in the future for Revenge on Apple Music, Spotify, blah blah blah.
Yeah. We can do that. We can do that. No problem.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have some. The way I locked up my computer today was like making graphics for us, and it just fried my computer. Like, I can't believe I made it in here.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see. I'm the editing guy and the I guess the home office guy. Hawk is the graphics guy and the metal. I guess you're the metal historian.
I'm a talking head.
I'm the actual, like, I listen to all kinds of metal, and you know, so we started talking and we're like, fuck, let's do a show together. So
there you go.
Technically, you guys are in the second episode, but the first guests.
You're the first guest, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo, that's what I'm talking about.
That's right. And Ohio represent, I guess. So
yeah, that's something else that we've been dealing with is where we're based out of, being out of Wilmington and being an hour away from all the
big
I guess I would say like the cultural hubs for music, for metal music, Cincinnati, Columbus, Dayton. It's really hard.
It's so hard to get your name anywhere, especially when our town does not like.
They don't like us.
Yeah,
bars
they don't
like
like us.
Yeah, local bars like that are gonna want you to play covers and shit all night. Yeah.
Well, what was nice back in the day?
Yeah, no, that was actually Wilmington.
Go ahead. We had a really good thrash and death metal scene here in the 90s of Piqua, of all places. Fucking
wow.
Obituary played here, like I think 6 Feet Under played here. And I'm like, fuck, these big bands played little fucking Piqua at one point. So my goal is I'm working on it because I'm a promoter. I promote comic book conventions right now, but my goal is to bring music back to Piqua. So
I'll show up. I need a stage. I haven't been on stage in years, but I need one.
Fuck yeah. You're always welcome, Hawk. You know that.
I gotta get a band.
Dude, we're always our house venue, Legends in Cincinnati, which shout out Legends Bar and Venue, Cincinnati, Ohio. Check it out if you're in there. The promoter Q, he is always up our ass like, hey, if you know of any bands or anybody that wants to come play a show, send them my way. So hey, y'all ever want to come play Cincinnati with something wicked, y'all got a stage.
There you go. Yeah, I don't play anymore, but man, I'm always trying to get music back here. So I know,
dude, and that's being in Wilmington. I mean, like, Wilmington has events every year during the summer with these badass concerts because we got the Murphy Theater, which is super historic. Like, it's over 200 years old. It's badass. And they do this thing called Rock the Block every year where they bring in these legacy acts and bring in all these bands from the 80s. I mean, we just had Scott Stapp here. Who else did they have? Was it Warrant that they had here?
Scott Stapp and Warrant. Oof.
And like, I mean, it's awesome. Cool, but the thing that irks me about it is like, obviously we're a band from Wilmington, Ohio. If there's anything that would be cooler, I want to play a show in my hometown.
Yeah.
You know, that would be badass. But every year that we've applied, because of our look, because of our sound, we've been told no every single year. And it just gets on my nerves because I'm like, where you set up your stages, I'm rehearsing down the street. Literally.
Yeah.
See, I noticed this from back in the club days around here is to really get there, you had to do like probably 2/3 covers and then a third originals. And then you slowly, as you continue to play, you went from like a third to like half.
Yeah.
Then you did like 2/3 originals, a third covers.
I imagine it's the same. It's got to be the same. That's the
That's
system.
how we did it. Yeah.
That's getting reps in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being on stage at all is like what you need at that point. It's not that like not even people knowing who you are. It's just getting
those reps in.
The reps in. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, I think last time I did the numbers in the past 2 years, we've played over 100 shows.
Nice.
Just putting in work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say now every once in a while we'll hit a good one where there's a shit ton of people. I mean, we went to Detroit this past May. Was it in May?
No, March.
March. We went to Detroit in March and opened for Doyle from the Misfits,
Nice.
which was
Nice.
badass.
That's cool.
Where'd
Yeah.
you play in? Where'd you play in Detroit?
The Diesel. It's the Diesel Concert Lounge. It's in New Baltimore, Michigan. It's a borough of Detroit, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of know where that's at. I got family up in there, so we go up there. I go see concerts up in that area all the time. So
Did you get to meet Doyle? I just made a documentary about the Misfits. I love the Misfits.
So I didn't get to meet Doyle, but I do have a funny story about trying to meet Doyle. So we the way the Diesel is set up, it's got 2 stages because it used to be an old movie theater. And the main stage where Doyle was playing is obviously the big stage, you know, in the theater room. And we were set up on the small stage in the lounge. And the back doors for both stages to get backstage were right next to each other out back. Well, we were watching the last band set before Doyle, and I was like, I want to meet him, you know, because he's a personal hero of mine. So I go out the back door out of the lounge stage to catch him out back on his way in. Well, there was a dude leaned up against the door to get outside. So not being an asshole, I was like, you know, I'm going to knock on the door. Tap, tap, tap. Dude doesn't move. So I pushed on the door a little bit. Dude still doesn't move. So now I'm like, you know what? I know that you know I'm here. You're just ignoring me now. So I back up because I'm about to bulldoze my way out this door. And right as I look up from taking off at a full run, Doyle is right there outside, 10 feet away. I stop as hard as I can, smack face first into the door, which sends the dude freaking flying, turns around, and I see the security badge that he has for Doyle's crew, and promptly realize I'm about to get my ass kicked by Doyle's security because
I'm with the opening bands, bro. Don't kill me.
don't beat me.
Oh, dude, I immediately was like, no, it's a misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
So
It was.
I've got to ask, do you guys have significant others, and are they into the music?
They're actually sitting in the room listening. My girlfriend is into metal music for sure. That was actually one of the reasons that we got together was because I was in a metal band and she thought it was cool. You're dating my cousin, though.
My girlfriend, she loves majority hip hop and rap, but I have pushed metal onto her, and she has welcomed it and loves it. So it's good that I get to listen to metal with her and stuff. So she supports me and everything. It's great.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's cool when you guys can have that. I mean, I told Hawk, I was like, literally my senior prom, I bailed. I went and seen Skid Row Pantera.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd have bailed too.
My wife's senior prom, because she's a couple years younger than me, her senior prom, we went and seen Slayer. So
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, no, my girlfriend would probably murder a bitch to go see Taylor Swift.
Oh my god. No, I will say that is definitely something that it's nice having a supportive partner.
Yeah.
Especially when things are like really rough and shitty.
Especially like if you at rehearsal and you can't write and you just feel like the energy's not there, and then you go home like beating yourself up, like I can't write, and then your girlfriend's
They're saying this because they're sitting right there. Hey girls, leave the room and let's see what they say.
yeah, we hear the real stories. You gotta take a hike. Come on.
Oh man. No, it is cool though. My girlfriend has been to every single Something Wicked show to date. Like every single one. When we first got started, our very first show, quote unquote, was a little DIY setup that we did in our bass player's barn. It was the middle of summer, like 100 degrees outside.
invited all of our parents.
Invited all of our parents, all of our friends from school, like all of the parents just showed up. And it was like 100 degrees. I was in a leather jacket, had my face painted up and everything, just playing on our little, practice setups that we had at the time for a show. It was a great time.
Yeah,
I had so much fun.
So I have to ask because it's been bothering me. Have you guys played in Detroit relatively recently, or up near there?
Yeah, we did. The Doyle was the most recent.
So that was last
That was
March.
last-
or March.
March, they said.
Because I was up in Michigan. We went to a wrestling event, and they had bands playing between matches. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys looked familiar, and I was like, man, I wonder if it's them, because it was such a clusterfuck was this show that
Yeah,
I
what
don't
the
know
fuck
the
is
name of
that?
any of the bands that played, but you guys look like two of the dudes that were in the band.
I'd play a wrestling tournament. That'd be badass.
definitely
Yeah, it was a cool concept, but literally
Poorly
like
executed.
Yeah.
poorly executed. The
like
ring didn't show-
they
oh,
were
the ring-
trying to do WrestleMania in a gymnasium. You know what I mean?
No, it was a freaking oh god, yeah,
A
it was
tent?
technically a
A
gymnasium.
giant
It was,
tent.
oh my god, the ring didn't show up when it was supposed
That's
to.
right. You told me that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So they had to do they had to do a no ring barbed wire death matches is what we were there for.
Wow.
That's badass.
That
awesome.
is a little gnarly.
So you might want to reach out. I'll see if I can find it. If I can find their information, I'll send it to you, and maybe you can play next time.
Absolutely. I will 100% do that. That would be badass.
That was one of the scariest moments of driving back from that event, though, because literally I got a wrestler thrown in my lap, and I had blood all over me,
Oh,
and I had to
yeah.
drive from Monroe, Michigan, back to Piqua
Covered
Oh
in
my
blood.
god.
with some
That's-
dude's blood all over me.
Oh,
I looked at my buddy. I'm
Imagine
like,
getting pulled over.
I'd be pissed.
yeah,
blood?
yeah. Officer, I was just at a barbed wire death match. Were
It's
you
like,
in the
yeah,
barbed
right,
wire
no,
death
my
match?
blood. It's not
No, I just sat too close.
front
You
row.
know
I
those
was
fucking
in the
those fucking
flat-
indie nerds. They'll fucking stick themselves like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
couple dudes that that's their job is to bleed. Man, them guys, my buddy, first time I went up there, he's like, watch that guy right there. He goes, he will
He's
bleed
gonna
on you.
bleed.
And no sooner did he
He will
say that, I
bleed
look
on
down, he
you.
walks by, and I got blood on me. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously?
That's some horse shit, man.
Oh man.
Especially when it's like it's your favorite merch that you're wearing that gets
Yeah, don't
ruined.
get your fucking
just
blood.
makes it
Don't
worse.
get your fucking blood on my Iron Maiden t-shirt. I'll kill your ass.
For real, for real.
Brand new pair of pants. Brand new. First time I wore 'em. I got blood on
Oh
them.
my god.
But I got the
So
blood
what?
out.
When's your next show?
Yeah, what's your next-
Right now, we don't have any lined up because we've been writing a lot recently, and it's been very heavy on us. So we're kind of just taking time to write and finish this album, which is almost done. We got like 3 more songs to write, and we'll start going to record for the album. But we plan on getting some shows lined up here soon. Hopefully, maybe a month or 2.
Oh, I think we could do sooner than that for sure. If we really put our minds to it.
Yeah. We're just kind of we had a lineup change and stuff, and a whole lot of stuff happened with our past bandmates, which screwed us up, and that's why we really stopped, because they fucked us so hard.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That will happen, man.
Yep.
I walked away from a couple bands because we just did not get along.
Oh, it was an absolute madhouse. I mean, I broke the number one rule of bands, which is don't let a couple into your band. Which, yeah,
I told him it wasn't a good idea, but he said it would be fine.
Hey,
hindsight's
20/20, all right. But we brought him in, and like everything was fine starting out. There were no issues. We started writing. Everything was going really well. And then they started having fucking problems with each other in their relationship and all that shit, and they ended up breaking up. So
and then they brought it to rehearsal.
Yeah, then it came to rehearsal, and it just snowballed from there, and eventually crescendoed when we went to play in Detroit, and my bass player pulled a knife on my lead singer, and I was like, "All right, you're both fucking fired."
We both fired. We fired.
Yeah,
at a gig.
At a gig.
Yeah, we had it was actually
It's gonna be in the biopic.
the night of after the show.
Yeah, we played a show in Michigan, and then that night after the show they got into a fight, and we fired him, and we were supposed to play a show in Cincinnati the next day.
Yeah, and we had to cancel that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was absolute madness. I left the bass player in Detroit. I was like, you can find your own fucking way home. We ain't dealing with this bullshit.
Yeah. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Hey,
for sure.
Without the trials and tribulations, you'll never get.
Yeah, no, that's a fucking that sucks because you're so close to it, but that's a fucking awesome story. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's a story you're gonna be telling like 5 years from now. It's not even gonna bother you saying it. You're gonna be like, this fucking guy, he pulled a knife and we kicked their ass out, and I left him in Detroit.
We really fucking did too. Yeah, it was wild. Lord, it made me laugh the other day. I was at work, and I was talking with one of my coworkers, and being in the band and having those experiences, it's kind of different being on the inside looking out. So I'm telling my coworker a story, not thinking anything of it, and the dude is just looking at me like I have a second head growing out of my shoulder, and I'm like, what? And he's like, that's the craziest fucking story I've ever heard.
No, that's a fucking awesome story. That'll go in the biopic for sure.
There you go.
When they make the movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Metal as shit.
Yeah.
I do still think my coolest story that I have was when I got into a fight in a mosh pit during a Fear Factory show at Bogart's in Cincinnati.
There's always one guy.
Dude, and the thing was too, I was so pissed because it was the Rise of the Machine tour that Static X was doing. It was Twisted, Dope, Fear Factory, and Static X. That's a fucking badass lineup. My grandma got me and my family tickets for a Christmas present, and we go to the show. I'm having a great time. The Twisted set was fucking phenomenal. Dope set was great. By Dope, the crowd done warmed up a little bit, so they're kind of energetic. Mosh pit starts. Whatever. I'm having a great time. The dude, I always just call him Red Shirt because all I remember is he had on this neon red fucking Adidas t-shirt that was way too fucking tight.
Who goes to a concert wearing a t-shirt that doesn't have a band on it? That's literally he's not supposed to be there.
Plain red, bright as a fucking fire engine. But the dude is throwing himself around in the mosh pit in a way that is not characteristic of a mosh pit.
Mm-hmm.
Being an asshole. And he's throwing himself around, he's filling people's drinks and shit, he's getting on everybody's nerves. And this dude throws himself right as my girlfriend turns around, and he just buries his face right between her boobs. With everything this dude has, just right there, face first. So immediately, of course, I'm like, now I'm
a gentleman. I gotta start swinging.
But,
all right.
And here's what got me was I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it fucking slide. It's a mosh pit. Shit happens. I'm here to enjoy the show. I'm not trying to cause problems, right?
I'm trying to catch a battery charge.
Yeah, right. So I move on with the night. Dope finishes up. It was a killer set. Loved it. Fear Factory is up next. Fear Factory is fucking crazy. I love them so fucking much. And like I said, me and my girlfriend were at the show. Fear Factory comes up. They open with Edge Crusher, and the whole crowd just pushed as hard as they could. My girlfriend turns around, looks at me, starts freaking out. She's like, "Get me the fuck up out of here," because she had never been to like a big full-scale metal concert before. Crowd was too much. All right, whatever. So I grab her and I run her up to where the merch booths are. I check on her. I'm like, "You okay?" She's like, "Yeah, go finish the show." My mom is gone. My dad is gone. My girlfriend is gone. I only have me, myself, and I to worry about. So where do I go? The most dangerous place in the building, the mosh pit, of course. So I get in there. Fear Factory's up there killing it. I'm having a great time in the pit. No big deal. And then Red Shirt shows back up. Starts pulling the same bullshit that he was. And you could tell everybody in the mosh pit had just had enough of this fucking guy. They were so sick and tired of him. I mean, he was hitting people with haymakers and shit. And this was just not the show for that. And we housed his ass. The pit literally went from this to that so fast. Just housed him.
Done.
And instead of calming down after getting his ass whooped in his little personal mosh pit, he just starts getting crazier and throwing himself even harder. So he comes across the pit and just hits me right across the jaw with a haymaker, just everything he had. I'm 6'1", standing up. And mind you, I was in a pair of Harley boots, so that also added. This dude probably came to my chest, like this high. I just hit him with everything I had, lifted his ass off his feet. He went flying across the floor. He gets back up, gets in my face, and he's like, "What the hell, man? You didn't have to shove me that hard." I was like, "You know what? All bets are off. I'm letting him fucking have it." So I just started screaming at him. I was like, "Man, fuck you. You know, you're going to come up in here and bury your face in my girlfriend's boobs and you're acting a fool in this damn mosh pit. How about you quit being a little fucking bitch?" He stepped back and swung on me because he was so short. All I had to do was lean. I just leaned backwards. Literally leaned backwards, came back with a right, dropped his ass. I jump on top of him and I'm going to work whooping ass. His woman is in the pit screaming bloody murder. Next thing I know, the biggest dude in the mosh pit picks me up under my arms like I don't weigh a damn thing, sets me down, spins me around, says, "Hey, she's calling the fucking cops. You need to get out of here." And spins me. I look up, the cops are coming in the fucking door. So I just go around to the left side of the fucking sound booth, sit there for a second, wait for him to get to the pit. I ran him behind the sound booth, grabbed my girlfriend, and got the hell out of Cincinnati.
There you go. I'll do it.
Shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I was so pissed, too.
Yeah.
I didn't
Hypothetically, that happened.
That happened in
Yeah.
theory.
That was a short
Yeah,
story
in
you
theory,
wrote for
in
high
theory.
school.
Although it did make the newspaper. It did make the newspaper.
Was it denial? Possible denial. There you go.
Yeah, plausible deniability. Yeah.
Plausible deniability. So, gentlemen, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up tonight. Thank you for coming on here. Where's your social media? Where can we find Something Wicked?
So we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Lord, what else?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram are our big main ones, really.
Working on building that TikTok though. Keep an eye out.
Definitely have music on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Pretty much any streaming platform for music you can find us.
Yep.
And you can just look up our name and we'll pop up. And thank you for having us on the show too.
Yeah,
man. No, you
absolutely.
guys are
It's been a
great.
killer
Yeah.
time.
It's a
Great
great
bunch of
time.
guys, man. And if I get music back here, I will definitely look you guys up. And if you guys are at any shows that I'm going to be at, I will come find you guys and I will meet you in person because you're not that far away. So we're going to have to meet somewhere in between. So
Absolutely, man.
I was
Absolutely.
going to say, if you guys are into comic books, come on up to Dayton because I'll be at a comic book show this weekend.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Jim
I
and
love me
Dan's
some
comic book shows at Wright State Student Union Sunday. I will be there. So
Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
So, well, gentlemen, I thank you a ton for coming on here and telling us your stories. And, like I said, well, I'm going to get ready to probably work on this tomorrow evening We'll take the music, we'll edit some music into this, put it at the end with your information and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and all that funness. So yeah. And then hopefully we won't get tagged because I've had other people go, yeah, you can use my music. And then YouTube went, no. And I had to take the music out.
The auto system is weird that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be
Gotcha,
careful.
I gotcha. Yeah, we'll make sure that's taken care of for sure.
Sweet. Thank you much. All right, gentlemen, you guys have yourselves a good night. Thank you again. And when you get ready to tour or you got something coming up, get us know. We'll get you at least on maybe
Reach you back
a few
on.
minutes to tell us where you're going to be at and stuff. So
Okay, cool.
Absolutely, man. Sounds good.
Great.
cool. Thank you much. And you guys take care and you have yourselves a good night.
Thank you.
you,
Y'all
you
too.
too.
Y'all have a good one.
Take care. So that didn't
Those
go
kids
too
were
bad for the
cool.
first one.
They were
Yeah.
just, they were like me. That was me and Josh in high school right there. It was fucking wild. It was like talking through a time machine. It was crazy.
That's what I like about you is because you are kind of me at a certain point.
Halfway, yeah.
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 So it's bad because I'm people. We had a discussion, me and my wife, because he said that the music that you liked when you were 14 is the music that's set for you for life,
Mhm.
and that you kind of don't differentiate from that too much. I'm like, fuck, man, I still listen, I still find new music.